Hello children, welcome to your next science class. We are in the next lesson of this academic year. The name of the lesson is Structure and Functions of Roots and Stems. So in the previous classes we have learnt about stems, what are the different types and what is the nature of the stem and the parts of the plant and the components of the stem, inside the stem what and all present. Now it's time for us to know about roots. So as usual, take your content book, take page number 66. Okay, and now I will read. You have to keep your fingers on the book and listen my voice. Don't look at the phone. Open the book, keep your fingers and follow me. Okay. Roots, types and function. We know that roots are the underground part of a plant. Though we cannot see them, they are very important for the survival of the plant. Roots are two types, different types, taproot and fibrous root. So, can you see roots as such? No, right? Whenever we uproot means remove from the soil. Only then you can see the roots. You can see only shoot system. Already we have studied. You can divide the plant body into two called root system and shoot system. Shoot system is above the soil. The stem, branches, leaves, flowers, vegetables, fruits all will come under shoot system. And the underground structure is called root system. But though it is not visible, its function is very important because of that only the plant is fixed with the soil, and because of that only the water from the soil enter into the entire part of the plant, in particular to the leaves for the food preparation. Okay, so we will see the types again here, just like how we have seen in the stem. Now we have two types of root system called taproot and fibrous root. What is called taproot? What is called fibrous root? One by one we will see. Now again, keep your finger in your content book. Don't see the phone. Follow me. Taproot. This has a thick main root called the primary root. The primary root gives rise to smaller branching roots called secondary or lateral roots. These roots grow deep into the ground. Some examples of plants with tap roots are sunflower, mango, marigold and carrot. So, if you have a long structure, okay, just like a stem, and from that branches comes, that is called tap root. One middle long structure, that is called primary root. Now you see this picture, you will understand clearly. See the first picture, a long structure is there. From that branches are coming. How the branches of tree or plant is there, just like that. So tap root means a straight layer which is called primary root, and branches in the sides which are called secondary roots. So wherever the plant has this kind of straight, single, long, thread-like structure and the branches, that is called taproot. And they have given examples. You just remember these examples. Sunflower, mango, marigold and carrot. Then, if it is taproot, what is called fibrous root? Keep your fingers, last paragraph of page 66. Fibrous root. This structure is made of a bunch of roots of similar thickness and length emerging from the base of the stem. They usually do not grow deep into the ground. Some examples of plants with, come to the next page. Fibrous roots are rice, maize, wheat and the common grass found in the lawns or garden. Now, fibrous root means immediately after the stem. See the diagram. Immediately after the stem, there is no single branch, so many bunch, it is called bunch, so many branches. This is called fibrous, just like a layers, many layers together is called fiber. So it looks like a fiber, so it is called fibrous root. And usually fibrous roots will be short, only this much level, you cannot see deep. But if you take taproot, the middle portion will grow very deep, and at times it will be so big it has to go to the deep layers of the soil to fetch the water. So always taproot will be bigger, longer, and deep into the soil, and the fibrous roots will be very, very short in nature. Then come to the page below the diagram. Keep your fingers. By observing the seeds of a plant, we can know whether it will have fibrous roots or taproots. The seeds with only one cotyledon have a fibrous root system, while the seeds with two cotyledon have a taproot system. See, by seeing the seed itself, we can say whether that plant belongs to taproot or fibrous root. Again, what is taproot? What is fibrous root? Taproot is a straight layer and so many branches from that single layer. That is called taproot. Fiber kind of structures, a bunch of lines, that is called fibrous root. And without seeing, by seeing the seed itself, you can say whether it belongs to a taproot system or fibrous root system. Cotyledon. What is cotyledon? See, when you see the seed, suppose for example, if it is a seed, you will see a layer like this. That layer is called cotyledon. Okay, so the seed, if only one cotyledon, only one kind of thing is there, then it is called fibrous root system. If two layers, one more extra layer if it is there in the seed, it is called taproot system. Now let us go to the activity. Observe the two types of roots. Make a Venn diagram to write down the similarities and differences between the two types of taproot. Two types of roots. So, with the help of the diagram and with your understanding, go to the ground, take one taproot and one fibrous root. You list out the differences by yourself. Differences by the length, appearance, everything. By observing by your own, you try to write. We'll go to the next paragraph. One of the main functions of the roots is to absorb water and nutrients from the soil for the plant. This water is used by the leaves to make food. So the main function, there are several functions, but the main function of the root is absorbing nutrients and water, because the plants must produce food not only for them, for the entire world. Only the plants are producing food. Okay, so to produce food, plants need water and carbon dioxide and also few nutrients. Carbon dioxide is available in the nature, in the atmosphere, but the water and the nutrients are present only in the soil. So through the root only, the water and nutrients are absorbed and passed to the leaves. Because of that only food is produced. We will go to the next paragraph. Keep your fingers. Another main function of the root is to bind the plant to the soil and prevent it from being uprooted. This is called anchorage. Anchor. Anchor means standing, holding. So first use of the root we have seen. It is mainly used to absorb nutrients and water. And the second main use is anchoring. Because of the root only, the plant is fixed with the soil. If the root is not there, the plant will fall down. That is called uproot. The falling of the plant is called uprooting. So that is the second function. Let's go to the third one. Look at the paragraph. Keep your fingers. In some plants, roots perform the special function of storing food. Such roots can be seen in the carrot, radish and sweet potato plant. And now we are seeing third function. First function is passing the food and nutrients, water and nutrients. Second is anchoring, holding the plant. And third use is food storage. After preparing food in the leaves, each plant will store food in different places. For example, if you take banana leaf, in the leaf the food is not stored. Okay, so we will not eat banana. Human will eat the plant part which stores the food. We will not eat the plant part which is not storing the food. For example only I said banana tree, if you take, we will eat banana stem, banana vegetable and banana fruit, but we will not eat leaf, because in banana the leaf will prepare food and it will not store the food in it. It will pass it to the leaves, pass it to the stem and the fruits. So we are not eating the leaves. But if you take spinach, coriander leaves, there in the stem the food is not stored. After the preparation in the leaf itself it is stored. So we are using it for our eating purpose. So the third use is storage of food material. Now look at the last paragraph. Did you know? If the root arises from any part of the plant other than the radicle of the seed, they are called adventitious root. See, radicle means in this root, this dot, this area where the root is going to come out, that is called radicle. So from that radical part, if the roots come out, it is normal one. But if it comes from other parts without a radical, you can call such root as adventitious roots. This point is only for your knowledge. In your higher class you will learn in detail. Now we'll go to the next part. Did you know? The giant redwood has spongy fibrous bark that can be up to 30 centimeter thick. This bark is fireproof and helps to protect the tree from the forest fire. This is related with the stem. Previous lesson we have learnt, no? So how our stem may be so thick that they have given. This is one unusual thickening, very thick one. It will even safeguard the plant from the fire. It will act like a fireproof. Now let's go to the next paragraph. Keep your fingers. Stems of trees. We know that the stem of a tree is woody, hard, rigid and very thick. This is called the trunk of the tree. It is perennial and supports the tree, enabling it to grow tall and upright. See, stems of the lower plants only we have seen before. Okay, very soft green color, tender, you can break. But when you come to the trees, they are not like herbs. Okay, the trees will have a very thick coating and it will be woody and very hard. Rigid means very tough and very thick. It is called a trunk. Instead of stem, you can call it as trunk since it is so big, thick, very hard and strong. And perennial, it is perennial and supports. Perennial means outside. Outside you can see it, and it supports the entire plant to stand straight without falling down. We'll go to the next paragraph. Don't look at the phone. See your book. Keep your fingers. One interesting feature of the stem of a tree is that it has bark. The outer layer of the trunk is called the bark. Like our skin, the bark protects the inner part of the trunk from heat, cold, wind and rain. It also helps to protect the trunk from fungi, insects and other animals that may live in the trees. The type of bark varies depending on the particular variety of trees. Some trees have very thick bark which is relatively smooth, while the others have very thick and rough bark. New bark is constantly being made of the inside of the stem, of the tree and the older dry bark is pushed out of the way. This is why older trees usually have rough outer bark that peels away. So the outer layer of the stem tree is called bark, just like our skin. And the main function is how our skin is protecting our internal organs. Just like that, this bark will protect the internal parts of the stem. And also every time in and around the stem, middle part of the stem, new cells will form and new bark structures will form. How our nail and hair grows, no? Just like that, it will grow in around nature. Let's go to the next paragraph. Another interesting feature of the stem of a tree is that it has annual rings or annual growth rings. These are easily seen when a tree is cut. These annual rings shows the amount of wood that is produced during one growing season. In fact, the age of the tree can be determined by counting these rings. Now we have one interesting factor. Have you seen the cut wood? While seeing, are you able to find the color difference? If not, see, most of you would have seen. If not, hereafter, you see a big tree which is cut into this round shape and check out the color. You can see various rings, rounds. They are called annual rings or annual growth rings. What is annual ring? See, in some plants, some trees, every year one new ring will form. So the previous suppose first ring is light brown, the second ring will be dark, then the third one will be again light. So you cannot find the same color. The newly formed skins layers will have different colors. This is called annual ring, and using this only the scientists will find out the age of the tree, because this annual ring formation will vary tree to tree. In some trees every 1 year new circle ring will form. In some trees seasonal. After rainy season you can see a formation of a circle. In some trees year wise, say for 3 years once a circle. Like that, so many types are there. Depending upon that only the rings will form. So scientists will check out what is the type of the ring and what type of the plant is. Based on that, even their age. Suppose if it is every year new layers formed, and if 5 layers are there, then you can say it's 5 years old tree. Some trees, for every 3 months if a new ring forms, and in a month 4 trees are there, no? Then 4 rings in a year. Okay. Then if you have 8 rings, then you can say it's 2 years old. So depending upon the rings, scientists will calculate. See the structure of the cut stem. Outer bark, inner ring. So these rings only annual rings. Then let's go to the next page. Yes, with this the lesson got over. Now you have a My Learning chart. Fill in the boxes to summarize what you have learnt about the structure of functions of roots and stem. Now you will see your book, go through the entire lesson, you read, if not again listen the video and find out the answer and fill it. Okay. Now this is time to go for the workbook. This is your homework. Already we have completed S2. Now we will come to S3, and this time onwards you are going to write your own answers. You will listen the video and find out the answer. If not, you read the book again, you will get the answer. S3, page number 47, and the question number 1. The figure shows a taproot. What are its features? See, this is taproot, right? So they are asking what are its feature. What do you mean by feature? Just you describe what it is. It has a middle long layer, and from that so many branches are coming. It is not like fibrous root. It will be so lengthy. You can compare with fibrous and write. So whatever you feel, don't write what I said alone. Go through the book and whatever you feel to write with your own sentence formation, try to write. Then we'll go to the next question. Draw a diagram of a fibrous root in the box and state how it is different from a taproot. So here you draw a fibrous root. Now how it is different? So here already taproot is there. You are going to draw fibrous root. So what is fibrous root? Fibrous root from the soil after the stem, immediately so many roots will be there. Cluster, a bunch of roots, not like a single long lengthy and branch. That is taproot. Fibrous means same sized clusters you can see. Then you write the difference. Fibrous, it will be a group of roots. Taproot, single layered. Taproot has branches. Fibrous roots don't have branches. See, this is again one example. Whatever I say, you don't write that alone. Compare everything. Read the book. You will find out the points and you try to fill with your own sentences. Let's go to the next question. When we put some gram seeds in moist cotton, they germinate after 3 to 4 days. It is difficult to separate them from the cotton. What primary function of the root does this shows? So already when we discuss about the function, I said 3 functions. The first one is passing the nutrients and the soil, water from the soil. The second one is fixing, anchoring the plant, and the third one is storage of food. So this point is about the second point. Fixing, the root only helps the plant to stand, hold the soil and stand. Yes, so because of that only, while growing, the root holds the cotton very tight, so it is not falling. That is the answer. Then, what type of roots do maize and bean plants have? Have you say, how can you say that? So, this also you read the book, you will get the answer. In that book, they have told something about cotyledon. I will tell you only one example. Bean is 2 cotyledon seed and maize is single cotyledon. So, bean is 2 cotyledon and maize is single cotyledon. The answer is there in your book. You can see and write. So, this is your homework, children. You have to fill it and take photo and send to me. With this lesson gets